Enjoying secrets of a sugar daddy? How about a little something extra? Here's today's dose of extra sugar with Marcus.
Hey, this is Marcus, and welcome to this segment of Extra Sugar. Hey, I know we talk about it a lot, but if you haven't become a VIP member of our Patreon group, you are missing out. Go to www.patreon.com/Secrets of a Sugar Daddy podcast. It's only $10 a month. Now, you can sign up for the free membership, and you'll get some sneak previews, but if you are a VIP supporter of the show, and I'll tell you a little bit about what we do with that money, you will get access to all episodes and extra sugars before anybody else. We'll load them on there first before we load them for the public consumption. So you'll get that benefit. You also get to see exclusive photos from events, parties, podcasts that we do. And here is one of the best parts. We will offer coaching and profile reviews to those VIP members. Now, that is only $10. I mean, there is nobody going to help you with this sugar dating world that cheaply. So it's less than a breakfast at McDonald's these days, and you would really help out the show. Now, what do we do with the money? Well, it goes towards rental of studio space, editing, social media marketing. There's all kinds of expenses involved. So we really appreciate your support of becoming a VIP member. Oh, and one final exclusive perk of becoming a VIP member, you will get an invitation first before anybody else to our next party. And if you've been listening to our show for any number of times, you'll know that these parties are epic. You'll make friends from all over the country, all over the world, and it's going to be like one big family. So we hope that you'll join and we can invite you to our next party. All right, for today's extra sugar, it's a question somebody wrote in and asked, help me figure out what happened. Hey everyone, I created an account on Seeking website. I've never had a sugar relationship and I'm curious to try it out. But since December, I downloaded it. I haven't been successful at all. Now, this is coming from a sugar baby. I went to a date a few nights ago. This guy had a little bit of information in his profile and was really insistent in meeting me. He was also sexting me. Well, if they're sexting you that quickly, you got to be a little bit cautious. Some people like it. Others are appalled by it. But, this is a sugar dating site, but you're going to get that on any site, I promise you. All right, she says, he asked me a few times that we should meet in his apartment, which I refused, and asked him if we could meet for a drink and see if we would be a good match, so he agreed. Yeah, that was the wise thing to do. Don't go directly to their apartment or their house on the very first date. I actually have had people come to my house on the very first date, but that was during COVID, and there really wasn't anything else available, and they made a leap of faith. Fortunately, I didn't turn out to be some stalker, killer, creepy guy, but you just never know. So good job there. Anyways, I finally went out with him. He's a 38-year-old male. We met at a restaurant near his place and just had a few drinks and had fluent conversation, although he never stopped looking at my boobs during the whole time we were talking. Well, that's just disrespectful. Everything, in my opinion, went well. He was a little surprised when I mentioned I had a child, as if he didn't even read my profile, and started asking me a lot of questions about it, which I didn't find weird because it's a big aspect of my life. Yeah, I've been out with the girls, and I've actually read their profiles, and they've had some important information there that I just missed. So it's possible he did read it and he just forgot about it. I mean, there's dozens and dozens of profiles, and sometimes you get them confused, but that was good that he actually was interested in asking you about that situation. Anyways, when we were leaving, he asked me if I wanted to, quote, have some fun with him and that we continue in his apartment, which I agreed. And when we were walking there, he said, you know what, maybe we should meet again. Tonight it's going to be just too random, and I'd rather we get to know each other better. Also, my apartment is very small. Do you mind? I was like, okay. Yeah, that's weird. It sounded like he did want to have some intimacy and some sexual fun, but he did change his mind there. So I'm not sure what happened there. I've kind of done that too. Even if a girl has agreed, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm in this more for the long term, and maybe I should wait. She goes on and figured like maybe he just didn't like me, which is fine. I don't mind. And then he said goodbye to me and kissed me on my mouth and said, I hope I can see you again. When I was back home, I had a message from him apologizing and saying it was just not a good time. So what do you think happened? This is one of the weirdest interactions I've ever had. Well, maybe his wife came home unexpectedly. I don't know. There's all kinds of reasons why he could have changed his mind, but let's view some of the comments. There's a sugar daddy that says, sounds like he should be an escort websites instead. The biggest hurdle in this for both sugar daddies and sugar babies is vetting. Make sure they are not crazy or dangerous and that your expectations are in alignment. Sounds like they are not in this case. The same guy also responds, I have done all under the sun, usually pay per meet. Lowest of long-term sugar babies was, I think, 400, highest around 600. Been out of it for about 2 years now, but one from my past I cut it off with tried to extort me. Don't ever do that. Police opened a felony investigation and I got a restraining order. Personally, I looked for more stable people. That was my priority. Safest course is where both have something to lose should it go off the rails. Should your financial situation be dire, do not share that because long-term potentials will run from that. Just be easygoing, but also have your standards. I sought actual friendships, women I enjoyed, not just hit and run. I also like helping people. My late 20s sugar baby were always looking for career advice and I even tried to help a couple introducing them to folks I know. Of course, with a cover story about how I met them. Wow, I could have written that. This guy sounds a lot like me. Let's see. He goes on. Long term, I had 4 that went over a year, one nearly 3 years. A number of shorter arrangements. My favorite was this incredible woman. She was only 28, so was on the young side. I prefer older generally, if they are stable emotionally and not desperate financially. She met a guy 3 years older than her with pretty significant family dough. She has quit her job and basically is still sugaring, but with the veneer of a real relationship. I was bummed. Also sad for her because she is wasting the most marketable years of her life with a guy I don't think will ever step up and put a ring on it. Then she will not have worked in over 3 years and the gravy train is over. I would say if you're in your late 20s, that would work to advantage with older guys. You still have a life ahead of you, so you likely value discretion as great things can still happen for you. When you push late 30s, the book is largely written and that can create a risk for sugar daddies because you will have nothing to lose should you go hostile. I was fortunate that mine put all the threats in a text. I assume because she was worried she could not be such a piece of shit if she spoke live to me, which made the restraining order and police investigation a slam dunk. So this one is actually 32, the one who posed the situation. And she says, I'm not sure if that's still a good age to start sugaring. And one of the comments is, you are a perfect age. It's about your confidence and your ability to be yourself and not pretend to be someone you aren't. Speaking from personal preference, your age is right where I look for my sugar babies. The things for me that normally draw red flags are having conversations where a sugar baby would constantly contradict herself, and that usually happens when they are trying to be who they think you want them to be instead of who they really are. Keep at it. You will find the right one. And then finally, the sugar daddy that responded initially says, and he's got a lot of great information in here, I would not think so. Just focus hard on vetting. First meeting in public, but don't meet in your neighborhood or any of your regular haunts. Get a Google Voice and a fake number. So Google Voice is what I use, and that's what we recommend everybody use. At least get something, a secondary number. We call it a fake number or a secondary number. There's plenty of apps out there. Don't reuse any pics from social media or post it anywhere. Can find you through 10i or Google image search. Yeah, a lot of times people will use their pictures from their Facebook profile or their Instagram profile. And even if it's kind of a generic name, sometimes I'll be able to type it in and recognize the picture immediately, and that's how I discover who you actually are. He goes on, I had some fun with my sugar babies and still keep in touch with one of them years after we last got together. She moved away. Actually kept in touch with another for almost a year after it was over, but she developed the feels and lit me up. Had to break it off all contact. Yeah, sometimes that happens too. I am even under the delusion that some of these could have turned into real relationships. I know 2 of them could have. An intimate connection is really what I wanted. So I really wanted truly friends with benefits with women whose company I generally enjoy. I did not want a divorce because it would change my relationship with my kids, etc. So I viewed the gifts as being in lieu of being a long-term prospect for them. And I did not want to go on a dating site and misrepresent my status, which people would be justified for wanting to blow me up. After a few dates, if they proved reliable and honest, I would share my full information. Without that, hard to be considered friends. That is just escorts and Johns by a different name. All right. Yeah, I completely agree with this sugar daddy. Everything he said is dead on. And at 32 years old, you are certainly not too old to be sugar dating. You've only been doing it a short time, so keep at it. There's going to be dozens and dozens of messages you'll respond. You just got to vet through. And like Lily loves to say, you got to kiss a lot of frogs to find that prince. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is in any dating site. There's just a lot of frogs out there. But there are great guys. And if you vet them properly, you will find them. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's Extra Sugar. Follow us on Instagram at Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. And if you have any questions, comments, or stories, we would love to hear those at our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. You can also find a good program on how to pleasure a woman properly. There's a link to it at the very top of our website, and it's the OMG Yes program. Highly recommend it, and your girl or your date or your woman will be very happy that you took that course and implemented those techniques. I've taken it myself with a lot of success, and we have so many testimonies throughout our podcast, and I wouldn't steer you wrong. So go to that link and find out more about that program. And once again, I'll put a link to our VIP member site, patreon.com/Secrets of a Sugar Daddy podcast at the bottom of this episode. Please go there, sign up. We'd love to have you as a member of our family. Until next time, look for a new episode on Tuesday. It's going to be a good one. It's a sugar daddy that we've had on before. His name is Bruce Almighty. He describes a situation with a sugar baby that he actually fell madly in love with. And you're going to want to hear this story. It turned tragic and violent and so many other things. But we've got a great interview with him that's coming out on Tuesday. Okay, until next time. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed your Extra Sugar with Marcus. As always, visit our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com, to comment or tell us your story.